Welcome to VLearn, Virtual Learning Network. Session number 6 of Developing Oral Business Communication Skills. Topics to be covered in this session are advantages of oral communication, oral business presentations, steps in making presentations, and the last one is using visual aids to support presentations. Now, what are the advantages of oral communication? First, we should understand what is oral communication. Oral is whenever we say something, it is called oral communication. Written communication is when we are conveying our message in the written words, then it is called written communication. Here we are talking about oral communication. We have some channels and their advantages. First is oral face-to-face communication. Whenever we talk face-to-face, whenever we address our audience face-to-face, then it is called oral face-to-face communication. The advantages are personal nature. Whenever we address our audience face to face, whenever we communicate face to face, it presents our nature, our personal nature, and use of body language. It shows our body language also. Body language plays a vital role in our communication skills. Problem solving. Whenever we talk, whenever we communicate face to face, then it becomes more problem solving. Why? Because the questions will come at the same time, and we can solve the problems and we can solve the questions at the same time, so it will save our time. Second is oral non face to face teleconferencing. Whenever we don't communicate with our audience face to face, but on teleconferencing, it is called oral non face to face teleconferencing. The advantage is overcomes distance factor. For face to face communication, the audience should present at some time or to a place. But whenever we go for oral non face to face or teleconferencing, so it overcomes with distance factor, distance problem. Wherever they are, they can listen or they can see. Next is oral non face to face telephone. Whenever we talk over phone, a speaker and a listener, then it is called oral non face to face telephone. The advantages are immediate contact. With telephone communication, we contact with our listener immediately, or a listener also contact to his speaker very immediate. Next is use of non-verbal cues, tone of voice, and in that case we can use non-verbal cues. Next is oral non face to face voicemail. We can see the voicemail face to face communication, non face to face communication with voicemails. So the advantages are saves time. It saves the time for both speaker and for a listener. Control over message. We can control over our message via voicemail. Permanent record. With voicemail, we can record permanently that what we communicated. Oral business presentations. Now we have done what kind of oral business presentations can be done and the advantages. Now what are how the oral business presentation can be? It should be persuasive. It should persuade our listener. It should persuade our audience. Second is immediate attention and feedback. By oral business presentations, we can get the attention of our audience and listeners very immediately, and we can get the feedback as well. It saves our time. Approval of important ideas. Internal and external audiences. By oral business presentations, we can get internal as well as external audiences. Different types, varied purpose. Here it can be varied purposes for oral business presentations. Steps in making oral presentations. First is define purpose. Whenever we are doing any oral presentation, we should define our purpose. Why are we doing it? What is the purpose behind it? So, the purposes can be of two types. First is general purpose. The general purpose of any oral presentation is first is to inform. To inform that what is the presentation is all about. We can analyze the presentation, the purpose, and to persuade the audience, to persuade the listener. Next is specific purpose. It was a general purpose which can be fulfilled by any oral presentation. And the next type is specific purpose. Specific purpose which fulfills some questions, which can answer some questions, which are whom, what, when, where, how. Second is develop key ideas. Main message for audience. Third is audience analysis. In the oral presentation, we can do audience analysis as well. In that case, designations and areas of expertise. We should analyze the audience, that what kind of designation they are having and their area of expertise. Preferred styles of presentation. Their style of presentation, demographic factors, audience size, familiarity with topic. Are they familiar with their topic? That what the oral presentation is all about? Attitude towards a speaker and topic. What is their attitude towards a speaker and the topic? Do they really want to go with the topic, or they are persuaded by the topic and the speaker or not? Steps in making oral presentations. The next is self-analysis. After audience analysis, we should go with self-analysis as well. What is the knowledge level? And what is the conviction level? Next is analysis of constraints. In constraints, we will analyze about the infrastructure where we are going to present our oral presentations, the time we will take, how much time we will take in our presentation, and the context. The context is important in any oral presentation. Why? Because it will gain the attraction or to catch the reader's attention. Next is presentation outline. In any presentation, what are the main topics to be kept in our mind? First is introduction, grabbing attention, body, main points, and conclusion is summary. Whenever we write anything, whether it is a topic, it is a sentence, it is a story, or it is an article or any news, we always use three parts. We always divide our message, our article, or our story, information, news in three parts. First is introduction. We should give a short introduction about what we are going to talk about, so that it will grab the attention of our reader as well as our audience. And the introduction should always be attractive. Body always involves main points of the story, main points of the news, that what is the main point, what is the main body of the story or article. Conclusion. In the conclusion, we should summarize our presentation, we should summarize our message, that what we did, what we have talked about. Next is information collection. Now, in our presentation, we always collect our information from some sources. There are two sources where we can collect our information. First is secondary source, and the second is primary sources. Whenever we analyze anything, whenever we write on something or research on something, we go with two types of information collection. Secondary sources, whatever is written about something or some topic that others can write on that topic, we get those material that others have done on that, others have written on that topic, which is called secondary sources. Primary sources is we do it on that root. Next is organization of body. Body is the main part of our presentation. So what points can be kept in our mind whenever we organize our body? Main points should be there. What is all about? Organizational plan. Next is development of introduction. How to develop our introduction so that our introduction can be more catchy and more understandable, and it can give an idea of what are we going to present. In that case, we should get attention techniques. Next is planning of conclusion. We talked about our body, introduction, what type of introduction should be there, what points can be done in the body, and now the conclusion. Body is important, introduction is important, as well as the conclusion is important in any presentation. Length of conclusion, how long it should be. The conclusion should not be more lengthy. Reinforcement and summary, and memorable closing. The closing should be memorable, it should give an idea, it should give a morale, or it should give a thought of the whole presentation, and it should be memorable. Next is selection of delivery style. Delivery style should be of many types. First is speaking impromptu. Impromptu is speaking without preparation. Whenever we are speaking without preparation, it is called speaking impromptu. Next is speaking extemporaneously. Speaking without support. When we are speaking without any support, it is called speaking extemporaneously. Next is memorizing. Delivering word for word. When we are delivering word for word, it will be memorizing. That means we are learning it first and then we are delivering our presentation. Reading from notes. Reading word for word. Whenever we give any presentation, if we are reading from our notes, whatever we have written with us, any paper or a paper presentation, so it is called reading from notes. Speaking from notes is referring to trigger words. Trigger words are the main points, like we have written on our page, on our notebook, that some trigger words, and after reading these trigger words, we explain it in our presentation. It is called speaking from notes. Using visual aids to support presentations. Types of visual aids. Product demos. Visual aids is whenever we show something to our audience, In our presentations, it is called visual aids. We take help of some aids, visual aids, which can give the more understanding, which can be more presentable. What are they? Product demos. We can give a demo of our product we are talking about. Photographs. We can show some photographs of our product or the topic we are talking about or we are giving the presentation. Diagrams. We can show some diagrams. We can take help of diagrams to explain our presentation. List and tables. We can show a list or tables, pie charts and graphs. We can take help of pie charts and graphs to explain about our business or what we are going to present. Media for presenting visual aids. What are the mediums we can use in presenting our presentation? First is flip charts. Flip charts, the advantages of flip charts are easy to prepare and use, and the disadvantages are unsuited for large audience and wear and tear. Transparencies, the advantages of it is quicker to produce, suited for large audience, convenient for reuse, and the disadvantages are unwieldy and complicated. PowerPoint slides. The advantages of PowerPoint slides are good for illustrating ideas, easy to produce and store. And the disadvantages are distracts attention from presentation. Next is handouts. The advantages of handouts are permanent record. It can be a permanent record. It add value. It reduce need for notes. And the disadvantage is distracting. It is distracting. Computerized displays. The advantages of computerized displays are it is inexpensive and it is convenient. The disadvantages are it is unsuited for large audience. Videotapes. The advantages of videotapes are it is audio visual impact and it illustrates action. Disadvantages of videotapes are distracting and quality concerns. Guidelines for using visual aids. So what are the points which should be kept in our mind when we are using these visual aids? They are value addition, appropriate level of sophistication, clarity should be there, simplicity should be there, minimum text should be there, numbering and captions, synchronization with presentation, testing in advance and rehearsal. Yes, there are some questions for do it yourself. The first question is what are the advantages of oral communication? And the second is write down the steps used in making oral business presentation. Thank you. Be learning, happy learning.